So a new survey shows Donald Trump leading the Republican field in Iowa. According to the latest New York Times Siena College poll, if the election for the Republican presidential nominee were held today, 44% of Iowa GOP voters would vote for Trump. But that's 10% less than his nationwide lead. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes in second with 20%, slightly better than his nationwide standing at 17%. Senator Tim Scott is in third place in this poll with 9%, followed by Vivek Ramaswamy with 5%, Nikki Haley with 4%, and Mike Pence with 3%.
Jonathan Lemire, still quite some ways to go. You have Donald Trump, the man who tried to overthrow American democracy at 44%. Ron DeSantis, who said he was going to slit the throats of public servants the first day he's in office, in second place. It's a fascinating lineup. Talk about picking your poison. But still a way to go. But the number I think that's been most telling over the past week is the fact that 91% of Republicans who watch Fox News, according to a New York Times poll, say they don't believe Donald Trump has done anything wrong. It's an alternative universe. Those numbers are actually much higher for people there than people who get their news elsewhere. We simply there are certainly Bret Baier, for instance, interviewed Trump's attorney a couple days ago, did a really good job, by the way. Happy birthday, Bret. We've also seen Mr. Ducey in the morning, also talking about the issues straight up surrounding these charges. But a lot of the opinion hosts simply feeding disinformation day in and day out. And you see it in the numbers.
Belittling what's happening.
Yeah, mocking and belittling what's happening. You see it in the numbers. 91% of those viewers don't think a guy who's been indicted 3 times, a guy who's, it appears, stole nuclear secrets, a guy who tried to overthrow American democracy, they don't think he's done anything wrong. Again, I would say more arguments for cameras in the courtroom so there will be transparency and Americans will be forced to see the truth.
Yeah, mocking and belittling what's going on, false equivalencies with Hunter Biden. We're seeing that from News Corp's printed products this morning as well. As far as the polls go, I mean, that's a little bit of a softening of support for Trump in Iowa, but we should note Iowa's never really been Trump's best state. DeSantis has bet everything on Iowa. He's still down 24 points. That's a smaller margin than he is nationally, but that's still obviously not great. That's also a pretty bad number for Mike Pence, who's also doing the same, putting everything on Iowa. We should also note there's an Emerson brand new poll out of Michigan this morning that shows Trump and Biden in a key swing state, dead heat. And if you add a couple third-party candidates like Cornel West, Trump is now ahead of Biden there. And that's why I wrote this week about how Democrats are already getting very anxious about the idea of some third-party candidates. So, Mehdi, let's get to you here, though, about where these polls show Trump's resiliency, yes, but also to Joe's point, the fact that these are people who are supporting him, who are living in their own media ecosystem, who are only seeing these headlines from Fox or their favorite conservative websites or hosts on X or whatever we're calling that site now. Are they just at this moment, is there anything that can be done to reach them between now and 2024 beyond cameras in this courtroom, or are they already sort of lost and gone and they're in Trump's column?
I suspect the people we're talking about are lost. If you look at the original New York Times Siena poll that came out a few days ago, they divided up the Republican base, and the 37% who are hardcore Trump, Trump or die, 0% of them think he did anything wrong or committed any crimes. There was another fascinating poll, Jonathan, from Marquette about a week or so ago, which showed 50% of Republican voters think Donald Trump didn't have any classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. They don't believe there were any documents there, which is not even Donald Trump's argument. Even Donald Trump accepts there were documents there. He just says they were mine and I have a right to have them. But half of the Republican base doesn't even think he had any documents. So I don't think you can get through to people who are that cocooned, that in their own kind of reality-free bubble. What I would say about Iowa very quickly is, number one, yes, he's down on his national lead, but it's still 24-point lead, which is easily enough to win in a place like Iowa that he lost to Ted Cruz, by the way, in 2016, and it didn't affect him in any way. And the other point I'd make is, as Joe pointed out, as you pointed out, Ron DeSantis has thrown everything at Iowa, and he's at 20 points, which tells you just how unlikable DeSantis is. The more you see DeSantis, the less you like DeSantis. So if he is what the Republican Party are hoping is going to beat Donald Trump, that's a pipe dream.